I just wanted to take a second and thank all the witnesses, and thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Cardin, and to my colleague from Indiana. I just spent time on the floor discussing the Restart Act with your lead co-sponsor and look forward to figuring out with you how we might find a path forward together. I just wanted to share by my own opening, if I might, that I am really grateful we are having a constructive and bipartisan hearing. I'm grateful, Mr. Chairman, that this has been a broadly constructive bipartisan part of what has otherwise been a very difficult process for responding to the pandemic and moving forward. I recently spoke with Blanche Jackson. She's the CEO of Stepping Stones Federal Credit Union in the East Side in Wilmington. They're also a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution. They provide their services at no cost to low-income communities in Wilmington. They became a PPP lender. They provided over $1 million to small businesses and nonprofits, overlooked by other PPP lenders, even those seeking loans under $10,000. So I was encouraged to hear that at least in that instance, this worked out very well. Let me direct a question, if I could, to Ms. Bolanek. In my experience and the conversations I've had in Delaware, it's clear from Stepping Stones and other CDFIs in my home state that additional funding to the CDFI fund is critical to getting this assistance out to underserved communities. I'm advocating in this next package for $1 billion for certified CDFIs. How do you see additional funding for CDFIs actually affecting the viability, the survival, short-term and long-term of minority-owned businesses?
Well, first, let me thank you in advance for advocating on behalf of additional funding to CDFIs. Of course, that's a self-serving compliment, but I do really think that that's where the money needs to go. From our perspective, it would be extremely helpful, both in terms of additional liquidity that we could then put out to our clients. As I mentioned in my comments, we really struggled initially because we did not have sufficient liquidity to take on this new demand. And so luckily we had 3 partners who stepped up and were able to provide us with the capital to be able to do the additional lending, but obviously funding through the CDFI fund, which is one of our primary sources of capital, would be extremely helpful. And then in addition, to support our operations. So those would really be the 2 pieces of what would help us to be able to serve our businesses even in a more robust way.
If I could, Ms. Bales, I've heard and you've testified there's a lack of community outreach in some of these relief programs. A program that was actually founded in my hometown of Wilmington, Delaware, called SCORE in Delaware has done a great job at providing easy, accessible outreach in terms of getting a business plan done, getting started. How can we reach business owners more broadly? How can we do a better job of outreach in terms of connecting available SBA relief programs to minority businesses?
Thank you, Senator. I would say that the training and the technical experience needs to be more diversified to finding businesses where they are. So where SCORE, that has, as you highlighted, focuses on a business plan and sort of the startup functions of a business, that is definitely helpful. That is vital. However, in my experience, particularly during this round of CARES Act funding, you're dealing with businesses that are already started. They're already open. They're trying to keep their doors open. So sort of a more advanced approach, covering things that I testified on, payroll compliance, tax withholding compliance. So a more refined technical assistance that finds businesses where they are. So it's a little past the startup phase. Mm-hmm. That's where we've had the most success.
Mr. Chairman, how much of your patience can I prevail upon given the absence of other members? Because I've got 2 other questions I'm happy to ask, but
go ahead and do those.
Thank you. Ms. Estrada, if I might, just interested in whether or not authorizing another round of PPP lending, as I'm sure you've heard from Senators Cardin or Shaheen, we've been working hard on a bill to prioritize Paycheck Protection Program, which would provide a second forgivable loan to the smallest and hardest hit businesses with a set aside for firms of 10 or fewer. And I know we've been in active conversations with the chairman and others But I just would be interested, Ms. Estrada, if Congress authorizes another round like that of PPP lending to the smallest and hardest hit, how do we make sure that underbanked businesses actually are aware and participate?
Thank you for your question. And it's true, there is some need in reference of making the awareness in reference of the CDFI that we are the ones that we could have the relationship with the business owner. And we are the ones that we are working close to the minority business owner. So the idea for these funds, it will be that we need to make sure that this money is going to be in the right hands for the ones that they are looking for this assistance. For the one that probably they already covered the payment for the employees and they need right now just to have some additional working capital. So every business is different and every business is run different. Probably a major lender, a credit union, maybe they don't have the ability to understand in detail what is the real need of the business. So the CDFI with the SCORE, with the SBC, we are the ones that we are providing this technical assistance, this financial education, like we used to call. And that's the reason it's important to make this program available for the near future.
Well, thank you, Ms. Estrada. Thank you, Ms. Bales. Thank you to the audio system, which just kicked in. Let me just, in closing, say that in addition to the prioritized Paycheck Protection Program I just spoke about, which I'm excited to work with Senator Cardin and Shaheen and others on, I also think an extension of the Small Business Debt Relief Program would make a great deal of sense. It's already paid the interest and principal for nearly 300,000 SBA 7A and 504 borrowers, which are a quarter of them minority business owners. Black-owned businesses are 2 times more represented among SBA borrowers than among small businesses more broadly. I think we should extend this critical debt relief program, and I'm working to finalize a competitive entrepreneurship fellowship program that would focus on distressed areas, both urban and rural, providing a living stipend, mentorship, and capital access. And I'm hoping that I can work with my colleagues on that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence. And to you and the ranking member, I'm excited to work with you on what I think is a critical part of this next bill.
Thank you.